I might have found a cave gecko morph at my local reptile shop, so of course I had to get them. Stick around while we show off these absolutely unique pair of cave geckos and to find out exactly what I'm talking about. Let's get into it. Unfortunately, these guys do look to be in a little bit of rough shape. I'm seeing some stuck shed and things like that, so they're definitely gonna need a soak. So how about we go ahead and soak these guys, give them a couple minutes to get some of that stuck shed off. In the meantime, we're gonna be talking about some of my personal cave geckos, how I came across these guys, and then setting them up into their new homes. Now you guys are probably wondering, Dakotah, this is kind of out of the blue. You've mostly been talking about crested geckos and toka geckos, so where did you come across this cave gecko thing? Well, just like anybody, from Facebook. Just mindlessly scrolling, I happened to see a post from one of the owners that I happen to be friends with on Facebook, and I saw these really, I don't want to spoil it, but this very unique looking cave gecko that I haven't really seen something like this before. So of course, with old Dakotah not having any money, but having also no self-control, I decided to see if he would be up for a trade. And it just so happened that he was interested in one of my lily white crested geckos. So the trade was set, we ended up getting rid of one of our lily white babies, and I got this pair of amazing cave geckos. And now for some of my OG fans over here at Dakotah Blue Exotics, you guys will know that we actually worked with cave geckos before and had a breeding project. Nothing crazy like the crested geckos you guys see behind me. We actually had just one pair of cave geckos that we started working with. After a while and getting a little bit pressed of luck, we realized and thought that, oh, I guess we're not really gonna breed them, we're just doing something wrong. However, from what you can see in this video right here, we actually got a surprise baby. And we also got a couple clutches of eggs. I guess I wasn't looking very well, and there was actually quite a few cave gecko babies that we found in there. Absolutely fantastic. We ended up selling a few. However, of course, like most things in my life, fell on some hard times, and unfortunately the project was disbanded. For before that, I ended up getting 3 little baby cave geckos. That is going to be these guys right here. We actually got them originally as some probable female babies. However, without that original project, I ended up just being like, well, I don't really want to sell these babies. They're pretty cool. They're just little dudes. Might as well just grow them out, and when they're old enough to breed, we'll revisit this project. And so that's kind of what we've been doing. We've really been only maintenance feeding these guys, not really power feeding, getting them for breed, because it wasn't really a project I was super looking forward and like having to do right now. I had so much other stuff in mind. We were just kind of like feeding these guys as pets, not really worrying about them getting the big size, the fastest that we can to breed them the soonest. It's always in the back of my mind that we would get back into breeding cave geckos. It was just a matter of time of when these girls were old enough and when a male became available. Now, a smart person would actually check if these guys were still probable female, because being sold as babies, my buddy took his best guess, but that doesn't mean there of course are going to be female. However, without having any self-control and just being who I am as a person, I decided to say, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to get this pair and worry about the rest later. And even at this point, I still don't know if these guys are actually female or if they're just some males, some females. Maybe they're all boys, and I just kind of like now have 3 male water. If that's the case, some will be available. I don't want this many boys. Fingers crossed these are still all females, and now we're gonna have a really nice cave gecko project going forward into next season. Then of course, before we pull these cave geckos out and show you guys what we're really talking about, we gotta build their homes. Can't have just cave geckos running around in here, although my god, I'm pretty sure the humidity is just right for them. It is sweaty. Here we just have some nice temporary enclosures. We're gonna do a very basic build for these guys for their temporary homes. I can only envision them being here for like 30 days. Just enough to get them acclimated to their new homes being here, how we do things. Doesn't really. It's just gonna get the job done, gonna make them feel safe and secure. Low ventilation to help with the high humidity needs that cave geckos have, and it's pretty much to just get them accustomed to their new place. Boys and girls, now that the enclosures are set, it is finally time. First up, we are going to be talking about the male, because you gotta save the best for last. That's how everyone does it. So let's leave it on a cliffhanger with that female and talk about this boy right here. Now this is going to be the male cave gecko. Apologies for the dirty hands, but you know why they're dirty, you just watch. It's going to be the male cave gecko. Looks pretty good, a little bit small, although I think for cave gecko breeding is totally fine. I would just like to see him a little bit bigger personally. Absolutely awesome dude. I don't see too much wrong with this guy, just your kind of like average cave gecko. There's not anything like super outstanding about this male, unlike the female that we're going to talk about in a second. Really awesome dude, man. Man, I really miss doing cave geckos. It's awesome to see an adult again. It's been quite a couple, I think 2 years since we've done cave geckos, so it's really cool to see these guys once again. But not too much to say about this guy. It's pretty good. I think it's a female that more has a little bit of stuck shed. I don't really see any on this male. Let's do a once over. No, he's looking pretty good, so we're gonna set him up over in this one, and then finally we'll talk about the female. Alrighty, boys and girls, here we go. The piece de la resistance. The whole reason I made this super clickbaity video that made you click on it, even though I'm not even sure if we really have anything here. However, with all that being said, let's get a stock audio drum roll please for what we're here for, and that is of course the female cave gecko that potentially could be a morph. And here she is, boys and girls. Now something you're probably seeing you guys are probably seeing right off the back is the lack of yellow. She looks a lot different than the male. Usually with Chinese cave geckos, they are yellow, or if you're talking with some people that do some phenotyping line breeding, they can be like tangerine, more orangey cave geckos. However, have you seen a cave gecko that's white? This gecko looks like it's in shed, but it's actually not. It has some unfortunate stuck shed, but it is not in shed. This is what the animal actually looks like. However, I was talking to my good buddy Richie over at the Gecko King, and he was saying a good way to tell it's in the right direction of a morph is what the color of the eyes were. Of course, if this is any kind of anery or anathoristic, exanthic morph, you're gonna be with the eyes. Remember, cave gecko eyes are always red. Now, if this gecko has red eyes, then we're not really sure what we're working with. Most likely not anery or exanthic because, well, if it has red, then it can't be that. I didn't check until I made this video, so let's do a quick, let me get the flashlight. Oh, well, oh no, that's red. I can't fool, well, hang on. Fortunately, boys and girls, the eyes are red, so we might not actually have a morph, which means the whole video's clickbaiting, and if I was a decent person, I really wouldn't put in the title, did we find a cave gecko morph? But because of, once again, who I am as a person, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Well, however, even with that being said, there's something going on here. I mean, check this thing out. It's got like this ghosty look. The white balance is kind of throwing it off, but I'm sure with this B-roll, I can assure you, this is a white cave gecko. Very interesting. Again, I've never seen anything like it, but however, I don't have like super big experience in the cave gecko world. Maybe this is another crested gecko bullseye Dalmatian thing and I'm just way off track, but I think I got something special over here. Maybe not what we were originally thinking, anery, exanthic, but something. Before I can declare that this is an actual morph or anything, of course what we gotta do is start the line breeding process, producing babies from this gecko and then bringing it back to the parent to see if there's any type of mutation going on, if the baby's turned into something, if the grandbaby's turned into something, or if this is just some weird paradox gecko. Even if this is just like an oddball cave gecko, doing a pair of cave geckos for a lily white, that's a pretty good trade. I take that trade. Well, I mean, I took that trade. We did it right now. Absolutely awesome. Unfortunately, the female is in a little bit of rough shape. We got some stuck shed that I'm gonna take care of on the toes. We look to be missing some toes. A pretty common experience with these, or common reasoning why, is usually people are keeping their babies together too long, so sometimes babies will mistake crickets for toes. Sometimes it's more of a territorial thing. They'll start defending their territory, nipping at the toes, anything like that. So a little bit of a bummer there, but not the end of the world. I mean, really what it is white gecko. Really cool, man. I am super stoked for this girl. So she's starting to get a little movie, probably stressing out. Of course, cave geckos aren't the most handleable gecko. Let's get the stuck shed off and put her in a new home to acclimate. And as always, boys and girls, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at Dakotah Blue Exotics. I'll see you guys next time, but until then, goodbye.